Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to see everybody partying and getting drunk and, they're on Instagram. And it can make you have a little bit of FOMO sometimes if you're in that part of your life where you're like, I'm secure in my sobriety, I don't miss it at all. And then you see a group of friends doing stuff that you used to do or going places that you used to go. Maybe you didn't necessarily get the invitation because it's just going to be one of those nights. And you have a little twinge of like, oh man, my life is different now. And I think where that comes from is the fact that it's always having to take the high road when you choose sobriety, right? Like, sobriety is amazing. It is rewarding. It is the best thing I've ever done. But that doesn't mean it's easy. And that doesn't mean that I always want to take the high road, right? Sometimes you just want to live out your best life in those addiction tendencies. Sometimes you just want to give in. Sometimes you just have cravings that are so frustrating to deal with. Sometimes you just want to cut loose and go freaking crazy like you used to. And you can't. We know one drink is too many and 1,000 is never enough. It is so much easier and healthier and more amazing to live in that zero tolerance policy than it was when we tried to do the moderation drinking, right? Like, juggling drinking does not work for us. If it works for you, you're probably not an alcoholic. Like, for real. Juggling drinking and trying to be like, okay, well, Wednesday I'm going out with so and so, so Thursday I can't get drunk, but I was supposed to go see so and so, and I know we always get, a couple bottles of wine, and then Friday my husband's going to want to have like a couple bottles of wine, and then Sunday you're dying and you might go get day drunk, right? It's so much easier for us to have that zero tolerance policy and to change the way that we think and feel about alcohol, and to really decide that's not the life that I want anymore. Not because I can't drink anymore, because I don't want to. I want better for myself. I want to break this cycle. I want to feel great again. I want to feel healthy, wake up clear-headed, be nicer to my kids, have more energy, all the benefits that alcohol-free brings to you. But it's not easy to take the high road every fucking time. Sometimes you want to be fuck it girl. Sometimes you just want to go out and get crazy because it's so much easier to just be like, who cares? And listen to the little addict inside your brain, because the addict is always going to say, it's fine, you can just do it once. We know we can't, but their job as the band-aid for all of your problems and your trauma and your addiction and your coping is to try to convince you otherwise. That's what it will always do. We know that. If we've learned to recognize those signals and we've learned to work on ourselves and our addiction, then we know that voice is probably not going to go away. Yeah, it gets a lot quieter over the amount of time that you go without those drinks or those substances, but it's always going to be there, like that little devil on your shoulder. But you know what? It doesn't mean that you won't sometimes want to go back to being, who cares, girl? Who cares, guy? Let's go crazy. Let's go out. Let's do all the things that just give us that temporary dopamine hit. So this is just a message to say, if that's happened to you this holiday, or it's happening to you right now, that feeling will pass. And you got to find those ways to break yourself out of that craving and to recognize, like, the path that I'm on is the best path for me because I tried it the other way and it didn't work anymore and it wasn't fun anymore. And look at all the evidence in front of you. Write it down if you have to. All the things that have happened to you since you got sober. All the things that have happened to you that are positives to your family. Financial things that you might have come ahead with. And write down all the negatives that you can remember, right? Once you see it on a list in front of you, it becomes real. The hangovers, the guilt. If drunk texting was your thing or drunk driving was your thing, write those down. Associating with people that didn't bring you positivity, associating with people who influenced you to do things that made your life worse, not better. Patterns with your husband, patterns with your friends. All those things that alcohol drove us crazy with and that we broke free of its chains because of. So this is just to recognize. A lot of the times I talk about the benefits of sobriety on my page because I don't like to rehash a lot of the dark times necessarily on my day-to-day, because I like to focus on the positive sobriety. I find that personally really motivating. But sometimes you just got to take the time and recognize, like, man, when you see those photos of people just like partying it up over the holidays and pop champagne, it's okay to acknowledge your old life. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to recognize that that was your life. And it's okay to say sometimes it's hard to always take the high road, but we're always glad we did. So happy Sober Sunday.